I'm just going to show a general walk around the engine so I can see how everything goes. Something looped right there, I'm not sure what that's for. That's the oil drain line. It's supposed to be, not supposed to be there. I just put it there to hold its place. Looks like when I was removing the exhaust manifolds, I dented the valve covers, so I gotta fix that, replace that. Didn't happen on this side. I think that was accident. I didn't realize it was pulling up on the valve cover till later. You got this oiling system. Your oil filter is way up here, which I can't stand that because that's going to drain oil all over the place when you try to change this filter. I don't see any other drains on it. Let drain out the bottom. Well, maybe it'll drain out when you drain the oil from the, maybe it drains out when you drain the oil from the engine to the other hose. Again, I'm trying to just show what's going on here. And I'll do more videos as I take things apart. I'm just showing in general where things are right now. This is your power steering hose connection. And the other one is right here. That's your high pressure power steering hose connection. That's your idle control motor there. We go around the other side. Nothing really, not a whole lot to see over here on this side. But there you go. All right, I'm fixing to start tearing this motor down. Here we go. I'm removing the power steering cooler so I can remove the, I'm going to take the power steering cooler and the power steering pump and hoses off as assembly. So I'm disconnecting the hose from this side and this side of the power steering cooler. Okay, I'm removing the power steering pump. The high pressure hose is up here. It runs right down underneath the fuel line, underneath this harness, right down through here. Runs just on the top of that water line, over here and underneath, and then right there to the power steering pump. Power steering cooler, the hose runs right there, runs underneath the fuel line, or runs above the fuel line, around that water cooler line, and around and on up to the pump. Okay, to remove the power steering pump, I had to remove this is the oil filter mount. It was mounted right there on that bolt with that nut with that bolt right there. So let this hang down, and that frees this entire plate. This entire plate, which is your engine lift hole right there, I'm taking it off with, where's the bolts at? There's one right there, one right there, and there was one right there. That was part of the idler pulley. But I'm taking this plate off. Those two bolts are already gone. They were holding up the single point drain valve. Once this plate's removed, the entire power steering pump and hose will come off as assembly. All right, once the power steering pump was removed and its hoses, I put them in a tub as an assembly. They will be cleaned later. I then removed the single point drain manifold, the two smaller drain hoses coming from the side of the block, the two bigger ones coming from the bottom exhaust manifold, and then the pipe that looped around up to the water pump hose. Took it off here, and that all came off as an assembly and was put in the tub. So at this time, I'm going to take this hose here, put it in the tub. It's just a small assembly there. Then I will take this hose loose here and this hose loose here from the thermostat housing. and then put them in the tub, and they'll clear up a lot of the front of the engine. All right, instead of removing these two hoses from the thermostat housing, I'm just going to leave them attached and to take the entire thermostat housing off together. So this bolt and that bolt will loosen the thermostat housing. There's a coolant sensor plugged in here. That's the harness connector there. And then over here, there was a temperature sending unit for the temperature gauge in the console. That was there. And the wire was, where was that wire? The wire's right here. So this wire here was attached there. That's your sending unit for your gauge. So once I get this thermostat housing off, the front of the engine will be cleaned up pretty good. Okay, the thermostat housing was removed along with the two hoses that went to the bottom of the exhaust riser. And now I'm about to remove these two bolts and remove the water pump. And I believe this hose will come with it. Actually, there's another hose on the back. That hose is already hanging down, so the water pump's coming next, and those two hoses will come off with it. All right, now that the cooling system's been removed and the water pump was removed as a unit off the front of the engine, next is the fuel system. The fuel system is going to come off as a unit, as an assembly. There's two connections up here on the top. There's this rubber hose right here, teed in right there. Oops. Where's that at? That was connected somewhere. It came loose. I'll figure that out in a minute. Oh, there's a nipple. You set nipple right down in there. That's where that hose connected. So anyway, so this T is a rubber hose that goes all the way down behind here, down through there, and it's going to it's right here. This hose right here. This hose right here runs right through there. Anyway, it goes behind here, and it goes down and feeds this fuel system. So I'm not sure what it's doing. Obviously, it's a pressure reference fuel pressure system, but anyway, that's connected. The fuel line itself is connected underneath this insulator. It's just a quick connect fitting right there. You put a tool in here and it pops this loose, and then the whole thing pops off. And then this entire fuel pump, fuel system cooler was just laying up on top of here. It wasn't really attached to anything. I don't know if it came loose or what. I'll figure that out. But that entire bracket is bolted on right here, and that's what's holding the fuel cooler. And over here, this is your fuel water separator. This is the line coming in from your tank. It's just bolted on just like the other ones. It's got that stud and that stud holding this bracket, which is holding it on. So once that's loosened, and the two lines from the fuel pump are loosened, the whole system will come off as an assembly. And I will figure out what that rubber line's for later.